Picture this. You're a train conductor working late at night, driving through uncharted territory in a fog so dense you can't see 10 feet in front of you. You slow the train to roll around a bend, and that's when you see it. A man dressed in black standing on the tracks. Sparks fly into the grass as the train squeals to a stop. Then men come running out from the trees on all sides, ambushing you, stealing money and valuables from everyone on board. Does this scene sound familiar? Is this scene from Red Dead? Well, yes, but technically, we're not talking about Arthur Morgan. We're talking about the most famous outlaw who ever lived. A Missouri farm boy who helped pull off the first daylight bank robbery in American history, spending years on the run, only to be killed by one of his own. From the first job in 1866 to the job that went wrong in Northfield, from the rise of the old gang to getting shot in the back of the head by a member of the new one, we're talking all about Jesse James. Pull up a stool, grab a drink, and get comfortable. I'm Sam.
I'm Zai.
And this is the Outlaw Haven. All right, teach me about Jesse James, teacher. Teach me.
All right, let's go.
Let's go.
So today, of course,
At least we have energy today. Last time we tried to record this, it was not happening.
We were
dead.
So bad. So today, we're going to be talking about Jesse James. He is, of course, one of the many outlaws that helped influence Red Dead Redemption 2, and one of the more influential movies in Red Dead, as it has a scene that is basically shot for shot from it.
Arguably the best scene.
Yeah.
Of the movie and the game.
Yeah. Definitely
next to the Braithwaite Manor scene.
But... Yes. Between that and Braithwaite Manor, two best scenes in the game. That movie, of course, is The Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford, which was released in 2007. And it's a movie directed by Andrew Dominic, but I didn't know this. It's also a book based off of the same exact name, which is why I didn't change at all. Written by Ron Hansen and released in 1983.
Which I definitely tried to read, but I didn't. I got like one chapter in, and I was just like, I can't read this anymore. I wish I'll have to try and go back into it, and if I do finish the book, I will update whatever episode we're filming at the time and say how the book compares. Yeah. Unfortunately, I did not do that before we started recording this.
Yeah.
I've just been too busy.
Yeah, for real. I've been just... Yeah, I mean, I'm not a book person, you know that.
I know you're not.
But even I was like thinking about listening to the audiobook, and I found it on YouTube, and I just never did.
I do be like that. But life has just been lifing a little too hard.
It really has. Okay. I guess, get right into it, as you say.
As I say. Let's get right into it.
So, born September 5th, 1847, to Zerelda and Robert James, they were hemp farmers who owned 6 slaves in Clay County, Missouri. And they ended up having quite a decently large family. I don't know why I don't have any of that written down. Way to go, me.
Didn't they have like 10 kids or some shit?
Let me look. I say as I wasn't like adding more to this like 2 hours ago. It's fine.
I'm pretty sure they had a shitload of kids.
Yeah.
But I might have taken that out of context of something else. I could be wrong.
They had 4 children.
4 children, okay. Yeah, 4 or 10. What's the difference?
Yeah, who cares? I mean, technically 3, because one died shortly after childbirth, but who cares? Who's counting?
Damn!
Yeah, of course they had the infamous brothers, Frank and Jesse James, and then Robert Jr., who's the one that died after childbirth. And then
it was
Susan.
The namesake one, too.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, his father did die in the Civil War, so...
Oh, okay.
after
Damn. Okay. Anyway.
anyway, yeah, his father got, of course, drafted into the Civil War, and he ended up dying. And after that, his mother remarried 2 more times, and remarried. For her first remarriage was to a man named Benjamin Simmons. He was a dick, who's wealthy.
Why was he a dick?
But
Just because he's
so
wealthy?
he moved in. They moved into a house, but he was like, "No, you can't bring any of your children fucking with you."
Okay, bye.
Yeah. So she left like shortly after a year, I think. And
Too long, in
then
my opinion.
right, and then I think he ended up dying like shortly after due to like I
Oh,
think a horse
no.
related incident. I'm not 100%.
The horse knew.
The horse knew. Yes. But then after that, she married a doctor, Reuben Samuel, and she ended up having more children with him. And it's interesting because he actually ended up signing a prenup, and for the time, very unheard of, especially well for men.
Oh yeah, this is the part where he signed the prenup and like the property went to her when he died.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. Anyway, back to kind of the Civil War stuff.
Okay.
Um. That's kind of basically it for the marriage shit.
Are we not gonna include the incest?
Oh, we'll get to it because
Oh.
that's later. That's
Oh, that's later. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
I've got it. Jesse's brother Frank James. He joined a group of raiders called the Quantrell Raiders. I think is how you pronounce it.
Quantrell?
Quantrell, something like that. I should
Hmm.
probably look it up, but it's fine.
It's fine.
They are a group, or were a group of pro-Confederate bushwhackers, and they led multiple massacres. And one of their most infamous ones was on August 21st, 1863, where Quantrell led a massacre in Kansas where his men, including, of course, Frank James, tore through Lawrence, Kansas, and they ended up robbing 2 banks and set most of the town on fire. They also killed
Like just playing Red
between
Dead.
right? And they also killed between 150 to 180 men and boys. Most of them were unarmed.
God
This
damn.
this attack was also Jesse was rumored to be in it. It's unconfirmed, but Jesse has bragged about it. But also, I'm like, it's Jesse James, so how legitimate is that?
So is this group similar to like Lemoyne Raiders?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, considering it's the South and it's a bunch of just people kind of going out and um fighting and whatnot, and all fucking assholes.
Sounds about right.
But later that year, a group of Union soldiers invaded Jesse's mother's and stepfather's house, and looking for information about Quantrell's camp. And Jesse was horsewhipped, and when he refused to give the unions any answers to it, his mother was roughed up as well, and his stepfather, he was hung repeatedly from a tree. He survived somehow.
Holy shit. Repeatedly?
Repeatedly, he was like hanged and beaten from a tree, and yeah, he survived. But he never was the same after that.
I
Understandably.
yeah.
Um,
Damn.
Also, understandably, this is what caused Jesse's fucking hatred for the Union.
Yeah.
Can't exactly blame him on that.
No.
Um,
Damn.
But in the following year, in 1864, when Jesse was 16, he kind of left that group and ended up joining forces with William Bloody Bill motherfucking Anderson. And so did Frank. And of course, Bloody Bill, he's one of the most kind of infamous guerrilla leaders. And just, well, when it comes to Western stuff, too, in general. Of course, the James brothers were together with that. And this is also kind of where they met a lot of what would become the James Younger Gang's other members as well. But Centralia, yeah.
There's a Centralia, Pennsylvania.
Oh,
I really want to go to. It's like a ghost town. Totally a side note there, but that's the only reason I knew. Yeah, right? It's fucking cool. I'll send you pictures later.
Bet. But Missouri, they killed over 24 Union soldiers that were heading home on leave on a train, just completely out of the blue.
Oh my god. Oh my god, a train. There's gonna be a lot of
There's gonna be
trains in this one.
So many of that later. Oh. But this is where the incest starts.
Yay!
Because in 1865, Jesse would become engaged to his first cousin, Esmeralda Z. Mims.
Oh?
They would stay engaged for 9 years until they got married in 70. I have it written. I think April of 74.
Man, that's a long engagement.
Very long engagement.
Is it because he might have had second thoughts about marrying a cousin? Because I think that's understandable. I think that's reasonable.
You know, I would like to think so. But considering that this is like right before he started his career, so to speak, I think it's more of just, he's like, oh, I'm a big shot outlaw. Fuck you.
All right, then.
Anyway.
Typical behavior. Sure.
Very stereotypical. But getting into, I guess, the career of the James Younger Gang, I just realized, of all the shirts I have on right now.
Oh, hell yeah. The perfect shirt for today. Oh my god, a train.
Heck yeah. Getting into the start of the James Younger Gang and the kind of start of Jesse's career as an outlaw. On February 13th, 1866, is when the gang robbed the Savings Association in Clay County, Liberty, Missouri. And they stole over $60,000. Keep in mind, that's in 1866. In inflation to today, that's $1.2 million.
God,
for their first robbery. And this is also the first robbery that was completed in daylight. I'm not really gonna get into kind of the next 10 years because it's just more of the same shit.
You think that, like, you steal that much money, you think they just, like, all right, let's live our life now, we're comfortable, yay.
Right?
But no, they don't.
Yeah.
They just, like, keep robbing banks and trains and stagecoaches.
Mm-hmm. And, yeah, because that's just it. It's like, they do this for the next 10 years, and kind of around, like, the early 70s is when Jesse really starts to be considered more of a Robin Hood type of a figure. Early 70s was when Jesse kind of started taking on, like, the Robin Hood type persona, and he started coming out in, like, a bunch of articles and stuff. There was really one in particular person. Again, I didn't write down his name. because
You had one job.
I'm just amazing at doing research.
It's not. It's not so much your research. You're great at research. It's your note taking.
It's my note taking that is terrible. It was John Newman Edwards who started writing kind of more of the Jesse James, like Robin Hood stuff, and then like giving the gang more being like, oh, they're actually doing good shit and they are, and they're not just giant racist fucking assholes. He was also the one that ends up writing Jesse James his obituary after he dies. But anyway,
Anyway,
we'll get into, of course, that later. But after the gang robbed a train, oh my god,
oh my god.
at Glad's Hill in January of 1874, the Pinkerton National Detective Agency was hired to hunt them down. Dude, it surprises me how many people thought the Pinkertons were fake.
Really?
Yeah. Like, after Red Dead came out, so many people were like, the Pinkertons aren't real. And then they tried to sue Rockstar, and then they're like, wait, they're real?
I knew they were real when they tried to sue Rockstar, but initially when I did play the game, I didn't know that they were a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And like, then I watched like a movie and saw like someone was a Pinkerton in whatever movie I was watching, and I was like, oh, that's a real thing. Cool.
Yeah.
And then I moved on. Like, it wasn't.
Yeah.
It didn't take that much thought out of my brain.
Yeah, it's like, I knew they were, like, real, but I didn't, like, know, like, too much about that history with, like, Ellen Pinkerton and, like, it eventually becoming the FBI and stuff like that, which, honestly, getting into Red Dead a little bit here, it's one of my favorite little details of the fact that, like, they did go through the detail of having Ross technically be a Pinkerton first and working next to Milton. And then, of course, in the epilogue, you can read him forming the FBI.
What?
Yeah, if you open one of the newspapers in the epilogue, it'll have an article talking about Ross forming the FBI, which also completely debunks the theory of Red Dead and GTA being in the same universe. Because in GTA, it's FIB.
What? You just blew my little gummy brain.
Well, I'm about to blow it even more, so...
Let's go!
After the Pinkertons were hired to hunt them down, in April is when Jesse and his cousin got married. Disgusting.
Ew.
Absolutely no.
No. No.
No.
No. PSA, don't marry your cousin.
This is in Alabama. Even if you're in Alabama, don't.
Don't marry.
Get some help.
Just don't. Talk to someone. There's help somewhere. There's help. Don't marry your cousin. That's our lesson for today.
The single takeaway from this episode.
Follow me for more life hacks.
God. But following year, January 25th, 1875, a group of Pinkertons acted out on a outdated tip that they got, saying that the gang was hiding out on Jesse's mother's farm. Of course, it was the one that was Samuel's first, but of course he had died at this point. And the Pinkertons would carry out a raid on the farm, and they threw, I think, flares or like some sort of like explosive or something into that house, and it caused injuries to Jesse and Frank's younger brother, I think, who was
So that injured the other surviving brother then?
yeah.
The other one was dead at this point?
Yep. Well, because that was just of the four kids were from just
Oh, from
Robert
that one dad.
and Z, and then this is because they
Oh
had,
yeah.
I don't know how many
Okay.
kids they had, but they had some more kids. It caused injuries to their younger brother and also their mother, and it actually blew part of Zerelda's arm off.
Damn.
All right. The next year, on July 7th, 1876, the James Younger gang, they robbed the Missouri Pacific Railroad in Rocky Cut. So they took $15,000, which is roughly $463,000 today. And this would be the gang's last successful robbery before the robbery that ended it all in Northfield, Minnesota. On September 7th, 2 days after Jesse's birthday in 1876, the James Younger gang made their final robbery in Northfield at the town's First National Bank. So Northfield actually does do like reenactments of that bank robbery. It's super fucking cool. I went there,
That's in Minnesota. How close is that to you?
I think like 3 hours away. It's down by the
Hmm.
cities. Highly recommend. But they make
Hell
like
yeah.
a whole weekend out of it. They do like car shows. Of course, they've got the bank robbery going on. They've got vendors set up. It's a beautiful area.
Good to know.
But of course, I went there and I was, me being me, all up in my Western attire. And everybody, like, after the reenactment was done, was coming up to me and being like, oh, great job. And I'm like, I wasn't in it, but thanks. It was cool. It was a really cool reenactment. One of the reenactors actually gave me their one of their blanks from their 45s. So that was cool.
Hell yeah. I still have my blanks from the train in Deadwood. Train.
Fuck
Or
yeah.
I guess that wasn't in Deadwood, but
But yeah,
Black Hills. Whatever.
hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sad I didn't get a blank from Deadwood. I totally was going to ask
Oh.
one of them. Because I went up and talked to, like, the Wild Bill actor after one of the reenactments. Oh, hell yeah.
I got 4 of them.
Hell yeah. Dope as hell.
Dope as hell.
Anyway, back to
Anyway,
the actual fucking history, not just me nerding out.
it's okay. That's the point of
Yeah,
this.
it's
Is to
fine.
nerd out. That's why we're doing a whole podcast on this shit.
I
It's
mean,
because we like to nerd out over this.
yeah, who am I kidding? Um, but so the day of, the brothers, Frank and Jesse, of course, along with Bob Younger, they went inside the bank and tried to demand the money, but the bank clerk, Joseph Lee Haywood, refused and was shot and killed. And he was also shot and killed along with a Swedish bystander by the name of Nicholas Gustafsson.
Is it Gustafson or is it Gustafson?
It's Gustafsson.
Gustav.
Gustav.
Gustav. Gus.
Yeah. I knew a couple Gustafsons in high school, so
That's cool.
I don't know if they're at all related, but I don't care. But after that, the gang fled and took off from Northfield. They were pursued, of course, by posses. Once they got to Mankato, they ended up splitting up. James brothers going one way, and the younger brothers, along with another member, Charlie Pitts, they went another. And after a couple of weeks, the younger brothers and Charlie Pitts had almost covered 400 miles when a posse caught up with them. They killed Pitts and arrested the younger brothers, taking them to Stillwater jail.
Hmm.
And yeah, then following kind of after Northfield, Frank and James, they left and went to Nashville, Tennessee. And Jesse, of course, being Jesse, he grew restless, and in 1879 he started to form recruits and formed the new James Gang. Meanwhile, Frank, he actually settled down in Nashville a little bit and didn't actually want to, get back into it, but of course he did. On October 8th, 1879, the New James Gang robbed their first train, the Chicago Alton St. Louis train in Glendale, Missouri. And they did a few other, like, robberies and stuff during kind of this time as well. And they started to grow skeptical of each other and whatnot, as they naturally would. Now, the train that inspired, well, the opening of the assassination of Jesse James took place on September 7th, 1881. They robbed their last train, the Chicago and Alton train, at Blue Cup, Missouri, which is near Glendale. They made off with $3,000 roughly, and that inflates to $97,000 today. Of course, that wasn't like all cash. Some of it was, but some of it was also like jewelry and stuff as well. Nobody was killed during this, but a month later, Jesse ended up killing a gang member named Ed Miller for allegedly taking too much. Again, kind of with the whole like Robin Hood bullshit. Later that year, in November of 81, Jesse would move his family. At this point, he had 2 children up to St. Joseph, Missouri, where he actually wanted to like give up his life of crime, and he ended up living up under the name of Tom Howard.
And this is the train that inspired
Yes.
the scene for pouring forth oil, part 4.
Yep.
In Red Dead Redemption 2, the iconic train robbery.
Yes.
With the oil wagon.
Yeah, and we'll get into that when we actually like get into more of like the movie breakdown and shot by shot stuff and whatnot. Jesse ended up actually living pretty peacefully for the next year-ish until April 3rd, 1882, when brothers Bob and Charlie Ford, they ended up visiting their home on Lafayette Street with plans to outline a robbery, apparently. And this is when, of course, they are like members of the New James Gang, and we'll get into that a little bit more when we get to the movie section, which will be in like a couple of minutes. But Jesse noticed a framed picture on the wall. It was a needlepoint that was done by his mother. Some people claim it says "In God They Trust." Some people says it's nothing. In the movie, it's shown as a horse, which I think it is. He stood on a chair to fix the picture. Bob came up, was behind him, cocked his Schofield, and shot Jesse James in the back of the head, killing him. And then Z, his cousin wife, and his 2 kids, they were in a separate room, so they came running, of course. After Bob killed Jesse, Bob kind of killed him for 2 main reasons. He had made a deal with the governor to be pardoned after he got arrested because he killed Wood Height, one of the other gang members. Bob also wanted to collect on the $10,000 that was placed on Jesse's head. Yeah. And after this, Bob traveled around kind of performing in like theater shows where he would reenact the assassination. A lot of the time getting scorned because he did the cowardly thing of shooting Jesse in the back of the head instead of facing him head on. And that's where the whole like kind of cowardly killer thing comes from in like the Jesse James song and whatnot. Of course.
I feel like if Jesse was living peacefully, he could have just like gotten him arrested, right? Like he didn't have to kill him, did he?
No, he didn't have to, but at the same time, I do feel like if Jesse, like, did get into, like, a situation where, like, he was gonna be, like, arrested or some shit, I feel like he would not be the type of fucker to go peacefully.
That's fair.
I mean, especially considering his past and considering it's not that long after that final robbery too.
See, when I was watching the movie with you,
Mm-hmm.
and keep in mind I was very tired at this point, but I was awake at least. That scene when Bob shot Jesse in the back of the head,
Mm-hmm.
that was like such an awkward scene, but it like felt like Jesse knew.
I was just gonna say that because it's
Like, if he did he know he was gonna get shot in the back of the head and just like fate accepted, or
I don't know. That's the thing. Also, when like doing research on it, that's like never said. So I don't know if that's just a creative liberty that the movie took.
because like Bob cocks the gun and just like stands there pointing it at him, and Jesse clearly hears the click,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and it's just like, wow, look at this picture of a horsey.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
dude is like,
Well, that entire sequence in the movie is such like specific movements because it's like Jesse looks at Bob, looks at a chair, grabs the chair, puts the chair
it felt
down,
it felt like
stands
it was
up,
like
looks
out of place,
over.
like an afterthought. They were like, oh yeah, this is the part where they have to have Bob kill Jesse. Let's just throw this in.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah.
was it felt way too like Jesse was like planning this or something. Like, it was just weird.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like, I didn't know if that was how that actually happened in real life,
Yeah. It's
or if that's just cinematic trying to like portray it as it was like as it was told, because
right.
we don't know that's exactly what happened, right? This is just
Mm-mm.
because Bob reenacted it a million times.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of what I'm thinking. Like, is because he tried to like do it up as like he knew when it was more of like a mutual killing.
That's what it seemed like. It really seemed like Jesse was just like, okay, run along, my children, go play outside, go play outdoors. And then he's like, anyway, nice to talk to
Anyway,
you, Bob. Anyway, oh wow, look at that horsey picture. It's crooked. I better fix it. I need a chair. I'm not tall enough to reach it. Let me get a chair to stand on like a fucking child so I can fix it. Oh, what is that clicking noise? That's a gun cocking. Horsey!
right? Yeah, I'm like I don't know.
It was that whole scene was so uncomfy to watch because of that.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, that can't be how that actually happened. The dude had a $10,000 bounty on his head, and he just was like, horsey,
Yeah, considering too, like
picture crooked.
he was only 34, so it's like
He had children and a cousin wife.
he's a cousin wife. God. Bob would get scorned and while he was doing like these live shows and stuff. I am so surprised he survived a fucking decade.
Yeah, that is shocking.
Charlie, who was also there, and in the movie they just have him like just chilling against like the fucking door. I don't know again if that's like what actually happened in real life. I couldn't
When he died?
when he died, yeah. Like, because they've got Bob, of course, like directly behind him. But then they've got Charlie, like, over on the corner, just like leaning against like the wall by the door.
Was Charlie the one that killed Bob? I forget.
No, Bob's the one that
Oh,
killed
okay.
Jesse.
I know that, but we're talking about when Bob died.
No.
Are we not? Oh, we're talking about when Jesse died.
Yeah. Yep. Because Jesse got shot in the back.
I thought we moved on. I thought we were past that.
We
Sorry.
basically are right now. So Charlie, he killed himself. It's unknown
Oh,
why he
damn.
did. In a newspaper article from Colorado, says that like he might have did it because he had TB.
I got TB.
Not the tuberculosis.
I'm scared.
Or that like he just had extreme remorse, or another account stated that like Charlie was worried that Frank was going to come and take revenge for Jesse's death. Bob Ford,
Anyway,
his life came to an end in 1892 when he was in his own saloon. When Edward O'Kelly, he entered the saloon with a double-barreled shotgun, said, "Hey, Bob." Bob turned around to go look at who was speaking, and Edward fired both barrels of that sawed-off shotgun right into Bob
at close range.
at close range.
Damn.
Yeah.
Edward was big mad.
Yeah. And it's like, that was random. Like, there was no actual, like,
Was it because he was a coward?
connection. That's what, like, a lot of people say that, oh, it's because he was a coward, or it was because Jesse got, not Jesse, because Bob did get tried for murder after killing Jesse. So, like, they're questioning if, like, it was because of that, or, like, what. But, yeah,
And who is Edward O'Kelly? Like, did he have any sort of relation to
Mm-mm.
Jesse or anything?
No, just
Just
totally
some random, like,
random dude. Just a rando.
just a rando?
Just a rando. But that's basically that for, like, actual history shit. Getting into the fun stuff, the movie. The movie, of course, is The Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford. Like we said, it's based off the book. Jesse James is played by Brad Pitt. He is kind of like a similar parallel to Dutch, if we're talking about like between like parallels between like the movie and the game stuff. They're both leaders of like powerful games, charismatic, infamous in the newspapers, blah blah blah.
So, hold on, we're gonna stick on that for a minute.
But
He's a parallel to Dutch Vanderlyn because they're both leaders of a powerful gang, charismatic and infamous in the newspapers, both chasing ideals of their own better versions of America and what they believe it should be. So, and that's not even outfit similarities, both well dressed and have a furred coat. So that's only the movie Jesse James that's similar to Dutch and not real life Jesse
well,
James.
I feel like a little bit of real life also kind of fits into that because I have it noted like later on. But of course with like the whole Civil War stuff and like their hatred for the other side, because Dutch's unnamed father fought for the North, died in the Civil War. Dutch hates Southerners. Jesse's father, of course, current different situation, kind of for the hatred, but in a way, I feel like some of it kind of sprung up from Robert's death in the Civil War and for Jesse's, and so I'm like, I kind of think that's a very shallow parallel. Don't get me wrong, but
I mean, I see it. I mean, you're talking about the Robin Hood shit.
yeah, that's just it. Plus the Robin Hood stuff. I mean, that's parallel kind of to the entire gang.
I mean, he even has like Dutch vibes in the movie.
Yeah, that's just it. Going like from the movie, how Brad Pitt plays him, he very much does have Dutch vibes. And in the movie too, if we're going off of like that type of parallel, specifically being like Jesse James is Dutch, Frank is pretty similar to Hosea, at least on how he's portrayed in the movie. He doesn't have a lot of screen time in the movie, but of course he's being Jesse's older brother, and he's the one that's like wiser, and like always trying to be more, I guess, level-headed with things. And we see that he has like a conversation with Bob Ford, because in the movie that's who we follow, who's played by Casey Affleck. We watch them kind of have like a
Is it
conversation.
Affleck or is it Affleck? Like Ben Affleck. Casey Affleck.
But of course, he's one of the members of the new James gang. Like we said, it was formed after everyone either got killed or arrested in Northfield. And it's kind of interesting because we watch him in kind of the beginning. He has like the conversation with Frank before like the morning or the evening before the train robbery. And it kind of reminds me of, because Robert's like talking to Frank about how he wants to like how he aspires to kind of be like Jesse, and how he looks up to Jesse, and how he's never going to be anything like Jesse. And
It's supposed to be like John Marston.
that exactly, that kind of reminds me of John. And I mean, in particular, one of the best conversations in Sean's party, the one between John and Bill,
The one where
where
they're drunk.
the one where they're drunk and Bill's like, "You're Dutch's pet," and they get into that whole thing, and like, your pet, and it's like, yeah, well, you're his favorite and whatnot, and
You're his
it's,
favorite. People care about that.
well,
Some do.
do maybe
Oh,
me.
me? Ah, shit.
But yeah, I feel like it can honestly, I feel like Robert can kind of be either a parallel to John or Arthur, but I feel like John's more fitting.
Sounds like it.
Because like we do see him go from like looking at like, well, even like we were saying in like previous episodes on like between John and Arthur, like who is whose kid. um of course, like Arthur is more Hosea is even writing as such in his journal with like Hosea has always been more of a father figure, and with us saying that like John is more similar to like Dutch.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about that before. I don't know if we talked about that on here at all, but we've talked about the fact that like it seems like Arthur was a little closer with Hosea and John was a little closer to Dutch
Mm-hmm.
growing up.
Yeah, but it's like we watch Bob in the movie go from like looking up to Jesse to like slowly not looking up to him as much. But also with, for note, with the whole like parallels, there is kind of a more direct like influence with the Robert Ford thing within Billy Midnight. Because if you think about it, when you find in that Gunslinger's side quest, when you find Billy Midnight on that train in Rhodes, he's immediately like, I didn't kill him. And like he's super defensive about it, and he's like, he wanted to be dead or something like that. So
Hmm.
it's like, it's, I feel like kind of more of a mutual thingy.
Thingy.
And of course in Red Dead 2, we do have like direct gangs from like Jesse James and then Cole Younger. We do have like the actual versions of them. Jesse James is Otis Miller. We can find
His treasure,
his treasure.
which is just a bunch of pictures of naked women
Yep. And a
and
cool
a gun.
gun.
The gun's cool.
The gun is cool. And we do also have the songs that, of course, are famous in real life. In the game, changed from like real life into the game versions of them, of course. It's cool that Northfield's also mentioned in that.
Which one? Which
Um,
song?
with like the Jesse James, because Jesse James has a song, and then Otis Miller also has a song.
What's the song?
It's just, if you look it up, it's just Otis Miller in the soundtrack, and in the game, in real life, it's like the Ballad of Jesse James or something.
Do we like hear the song in the game though?
Yeah,
The Otis Miller one?
yeah, both are sung around the campfire. Um,
Oh.
yeah, I'll send them to you.
Okay, but
And then Cole Younger is Jack Hall, who we get the treasure map of if we go and talk to Maximo.
Maximo Cristobal.
I think that's his name.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Maximo.
Maximo
Hell yeah, I got it right.
Cristobal? Is it is there the E at the end or is it just Cristobal?
It's just a O, I think. At least according to the Heartlands episode on the notes. But that's of course, like, Cole Younger is supposed to be the Jack Hall gang. They also both have secret cards.
Maximo Cristobal Valdespino.
Of course, we find him by Flatneck, and that leads us on the first treasure hunt.
Do you kill him and take the map, or do you buy it for $10?
Most of the time, well, if you pull your gun out,
He'll just give it to you.
I think he'll, just give it to you. So if I'm doing a high honor playthrough, I'll do that. Otherwise, I'll shoot him. God.
I love that it like takes effort for you to do a high honor playthrough, whereas like other people are like, "Damn, I feel mean killing these people. I don't want to push Jimmy Brooks off the cliff."
It's just because I'm impatient.
That's fair.
That's literally all. Like, most of the time, honestly, I don't do a low honor playthrough. Like, I'll do low honor things, but it's like the majority of my playthrough won't be low honor. But at the same time, I won't do things to build my honor either. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention with the conversation with Frank and Bob, and like the parallel between like Frank and Hosea and Bob and John, how like that conversation that they have at like the beginning is also kind of, I feel like, a little bit of ones of like the camp conversations we can hear of like Hosea telling John to get out of the life and actually like give Jack and Abigail like a good life and whatnot.
I don't think I've ever seen one of those conversations.
Oh, really? I usually get one like start of chapter 2 at like the table, because John will be reading like, yeah.
That early? Not like chapter 4?
Mm-mm. No, it's always been like chapter 2 and chapter 3. Like, John will be sitting at the table, like reading like his newspaper or something, and then Hosea will come up and be like, you could get out. And I think it happens in chapter 3 too.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I have never gotten that. That like
weird. I always get it.
I've never gotten that. That like totally adds to the Dutch suspicion in chapter 4 when he's wondering if John's the rat.
Mm-hmm.
And Gorma. I guess that's chapter 5. Damn, that's wild.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think did Dutch hear that?
I mean,
did like Bill or Javier hear it or something? Like, I
don't know. Well, I feel like for Dutch, more of it was just seeing him go from like in chapter 3 of him like not seeing John give a flying fuck about Jack.
That makes it even more shocking about Hosea suggesting that, I guess.
Yeah. But at the same time, it's like, it's also Hosea, so. And like, because he's the only one that's really like super duper reminiscent about like the past and stuff. And if like what we're talking about, like for like possible theories and stuff with like them, Jose and Bessie, like wanting to like start a family and stuff, and then he sees that John has that opportunity. And
I need to spend more time in camp when I'm playing. I'm doing these playthroughs and I'm just like flying through it and I'm not listening to any of these dialogues.
I'll send you it on YouTube too, but a compilation that has all of the camp like dialogues and conversations in it. So
Hell yeah.
there's one that does it by like the entire thing, and then there's another one that does it like split into chapters, like chapter 2, 3, 4, so on.
Hell yeah.
So it's like that's what I've been listening to for like the breakdowns and stuff. Brad Pitt, he kind of plays Jesse James as like a calm, mostly collected like man. Quiet, confident, pretty well read and like meaningful within his words. Again, similar to Dutch, both are very quick to lose their cool.
I feel like Jesse's like losing his cool is like more unhinged than Dutch though. Like Dutch is still like
Yeah. Yeah.
still has like his wits about him. Whereas
Mm-hmm.
like at least when Brad Pitt as Jesse loses his cool, it's just like a flip of a switch.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
fucking psycho.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like I feel like the only time we really properly see it like as like a parallel is with Gloria. Yep. I was like, it begins with the G. I wanted to say Greta, but I'm like, nope, that's his mother.
Gloria.
But yeah, I feel like really that's like for like comparing both of them losing their cool, I feel like that's the only parallel we have.
Right.
And of course both of them like trying to mask their like descent into fucking insanity.
Yeah.
One gets a
But
lot
like,
farther.
yeah. Like Jesse doesn't have like a big like descent into insanity.
No.
He's like pretty like
It's more just like
levelly.
Lovely kind of losing their
It's
mind.
already like lost, but like he's still smart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because yeah, it's
Except for marrying his cousin. I don't know what the fuck that
yeah,
was.
not cool.
No.
I mean, I guess you can kind of say it does with like the death portion. If we're going with like how it was set up in like the movie of like Jesse knowing, in a way, I mean, kind of a continuation of like the Dutch and John shit, especially with like how Dutch's death was originally supposed to be, because the player was supposed to have a choice on whether to kill him or not.
Oh.
Um,
I kind of wish we would have still had that choice.
I don't know. I
I wish we could have had the opportunity to kill Dutch.
it,
Selfishly.
I don't know. Yeah, like
I get, I
I
mean, the
get
story wise, that makes
why.
sense. It's so good. I get it. But
Mm-hmm.
like, I kind of just selfishly wish that we
Yeah,
would have had the choice.
yeah, because it's like I mean we have the choice with of course everyone else to like kill or let the other person kill him, but or capture him and have nothing happen. Dude, I wish if we like were to capture Javier once we got into Blackwater, like we would have gotten to see him hang or something.
So we turn Javier in alive, right? And then
Yeah, because you can choose either to turn Javier alive or, of course, kill him. But then with Bill, it's either you kill him or Reyes kills him.
okay, so Bill is
Bill's
the
dead.
one that dies. Okay, I knew one of them you could turn in alive, and the other one you turn in dead, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't remember which one was which. I thought it was the other way around. I'm kind of surprised that Jesse James didn't have like a similar death to Dutch. Like that just seems, I don't know, convenient
Right?
that Bob just shot him in the back of the head. Like keep I'm still just like, what the fuck was that death in the movie? Because like
Yeah.
he knew he was about to die and he just stood there looking at the pictures. And that's the movie is often regarded as the most
Mm.
accurate depictions of Jesse James's death.
Yeah.
And it's
Which is
look at the pony.
look at the pony.
Look at the pony,
But
Jesse.
yeah, I guess not even really. I guess his death is kind of the wrong choice of word for my notes. But like that
Oh,
whole like
just
after
the,
like
the ending of his life
the ending of
and
his
the end of his
life.
life.
Yeah, like as like new. I just realized we didn't talk about the train at all.
The train. Oh my god, a
The
train
train. Let's get to the train.
shot per shot for pouring forth oil 4.
And then the beginning of that train robbery in the movie. It is, the lighting is decently similar.
The train like beaming through the trees and seeing the gang members hidden in the trees right there watching with their masks.
Yeah. The only thing that really is different is what like Jesse and Arthur end up standing on.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, why is Jesse not standing on the
That's
oil
it.
wagon?
Yeah, because in the movie, Jesse just ends up standing on like a bunch of old, broken like wooden pillars and stuff. But yeah, I think he's just standing on like broken bits of track or like wooden pillars or fences or whatever.
He's standing on wood.
He's standing on wood. God damn it. But yeah, he ends up. It's very similar in like the same regard. Arthur, of course, on the oil wagon, and that entire like sequence from the oil wagon, the gang in the trees, the train coming around the track, the shots of the wheel, the headlight, the coming around the like the corner, all of like that basically first cutscene is all in the movie, and like pretty decently shot for shot. Of course, some of it's a little bit different, but not by much. And then that's pretty much where, like, for like the train robbery itself, kind of stops with the similarities. Kind of understandably, because the rest of it, you get control of Arthur, so there was nothing they could really do in that situation.
Yeah. And there's also like way more gang members that get on the train in the movie than there were in the game. Because in Red Dead, it's just Arthur, John, Charles, and Sean. But in the movie, it's like the entire gang.
Yeah. Yeah, I think in the movie it's 5? Because I'm just
I
trying
thought
to...
there was more than that.
I think
I feel like there was like... It felt like there was like 8 to 12.
There might be more. I'm just trying to like think of for like that back room shot when they're in like the storage car.
They show the shot where it's all of the gang walking up from the trees to like once the train has stopped.
Yeah, when it's like the
trees. There's like 8 to 12 of them that come out. That are, I mean, the robbery as a whole, not just the ones that go on the train.
Yeah, that like whole thing is definitely more than.
It's like the entire gang. That's it for us today, Outlaws. Thank you so much for spending time with us here at the Outlaw Haven. It really means a lot to us. We upload every Thursday at 3 a.m. Eastern Time, so if you like what you heard, make sure you follow or subscribe wherever you're listening so you don't miss what's coming next. Also, please take a moment to leave us 5 stars because it's the best way to support what we do. I'm Sam.
I'm Zaya.
And this is the Outlaw Haven.
This world has a lot of ugly in it, but it sure as hell has a lot of beauty. You eat babies.